In this episode, Tesla and Ford collaborate, Chevy sends off the Camaro, and Ford supercharges the F-150. Welcome to episode 224 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Ryle, anything new in your world?
A little bit. Not necessarily my world, but the world around here. Have you been awake and had your eyes and ears to the sky recently in the mornings?
In the mornings? Seems unlikely, but what am I missing?
So you're missing a pair of really cool fighter jets that are based out of Sarasota for the next week or two that are using Sarasota as like a hub to practice air tactical maneuvers.
What kind of jets are we talking?
They're old school. A Hawker Hunter and an F-21.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saw them buzzing around the past couple days, and oh my God. So if you're local to Sarasota, between now and I think it's the 14th of June, I think that's when they're officially yanking the last day of training, I should say. But keep your eyes and ears to the sky.
Gotcha.
Particularly mornings.
I know when that whole Chinese spy balloon thing was going on, there was a pair of F-35s that were running between Miami and Tampa. Mm-hmm. And that was cool to see. I got to see that once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. And they were low and moving.
I love that.
Yeah. That was neat.
So let's get into some news. Do you have any news to start us off with?
I have some fascinating EV news. I love this kind of stuff. I know you're not a huge EV guy, but this is more of like the how is the EV world going to work kind of news. It's not here's a new car. It's let's talk about some dynamics between some car companies.
Then I could be slightly interested.
Yes. So Ford and the biggest EV tech guru machine that is Tesla have partnered on a standardized charging port.
So wait a minute now. Ford and Tesla have partnered?
Ford and Tesla have decided to both adopt the Tesla Supercharger port,
I'll take unlikely partnerships for 500, Alex.
Is it? Is it? Okay, hear me out.
Wouldn't they be competitors?
Yeah, they definitely are. But of the car manufacturers that are ahead, Ford is probably the most ahead as far as EVs, other than Tesla and Rivian and like the only
mass
EVs.
Market,
right? Yeah. If you're talking about going from ICE converting over to EVs, Ford is probably the furthest ahead in my opinion.
Probably.
So this is an interesting thing that they're doing because it could lead to more of the market doing this. Or we'll have a massive split in the market, and it will be fascinating to watch this play out.
I see where you're going.
Yes. So Ford and Tesla have both consolidated to what is called the NACS charger, which is the North American Charging Standard.
The NACS.
Yes. It's also known as the Tesla charging port.
Okay.
It's the one on the right over here in the photo. And if I scroll down here, you'll also see it's the one on the right of that one. Most people either use the left two, which is CCS. You'll find that in Europe. You'll find that on all other cars other than Teslas at the moment. CCS is on every EV other than Teslas. Interesting that Ford is moving away from CCS over to the Tesla charging. And the reason that they're doing that is so that they can use the Tesla Supercharger network.
Okay, because Tesla Supercharger network is vastly superior to whatever the Charge America Now and all of the other ones.
There's a bunch of other third parties out there that are trying to make their own network, and they're all using CCS, which is cool. And if you recall, I think it was like a month ago, we talked about certain Tesla Superchargers had adapters for CCS going on there.
I remember that.
So you could take a Rivian or you could take a Lucid or an F-150 Lightning and you could charge it on the Tesla Supercharger.
Yeah.
You had to like make a Tesla account, get in the app, get all signed up, but you could do it, which was cool to see. This is kind of the other way around. This is like Ford's like, okay, those are actually good chargers. Maybe we'll just give our people adapters so that they can use the Tesla Supercharging network. And if you do it correctly, you would then be able to use CCS and the Tesla Supercharger. Or
so it's not that it's replacing CCS on the current Fords, but it's giving you an adapter to also use.
So current Fords, they do have the CCS, and apparently in 2025, Ford is going to be sending out the NACS or the Tesla Supercharging port adapter to all Ford owners, which is interesting. And then moving forward from that point, the car will have the NACS port in it.
So it won't even have the old CCS one?
No. You could, in theory, buy an adapter to go backward to the CCS, but this is the first big shift away from CCS that I've seen. Most car companies have been going down the CCS path, but I know that Tesla, I think it was a year ago, open sourced the patents for all of their charging stuff for their charging port. So they said anybody can use it. You're totally allowed to. I'm sure there's some behind the scenes contract that Ford and Tesla did to be able to allow them to do this. But as far as like the hardware goes, any car company could make it or integrate it into their car if they want.
Okay.
So that's cool. And to my knowledge, the Tesla supercharging, the NACS charge port is the better one.
Yeah.
To my understanding, it can hold more voltage. It can pass higher voltages. It can basically charge your car faster than a CCS can.
Makes sense.
Yes. So this is the first manufacturer that I've seen that has made a big shift away from CCS over to NACS. And I suspect they won't be the last. Now, that brings up a couple questions, and I want to pose these questions to you.
Okay.
Is this a good thing?
I don't know. I can't accurately answer that. I think it could be.
Okay, here's an analogy.
In my head, they're moving to the better one of the two of them.
Right. I have an Android phone.
Yes.
You have an iPhone.
Yes.
We can't use each other's chargers.
Correct.
We've talked about this in the past. There's USB-C and Lightning, right?
Mm-hmm.
The government has decided over in Europe that Apple must use USB-C. They have to get rid of their Lightning port.
I don't like it when a government tells you can't.
I don't either. But we're very close to that here. There are two different standards that is as close to like something that needs to be unified as possible, right?
Yeah.
If you think about ICE engines, it's all the same port to put fuel in the tank.
Yeah.
You don't need some weird different looking port.
A fuel nozzle is a fuel nozzle.
Right. Is this also going to push the government into deciding which one we use here?
I think it could. I think this is a step in that direction, which to my very freedom-loving brain I don't like.
No.
But I also understand if you are someone that can't charge your car.
Let me ask you this. Should there be a standard?
No.
Ooh. Why?
Free market, baby.
Oh. I like your answer.
Build a better mousetrap.
Right. I think most people would say, yes, there should be a standard. You should be able to go to any charging station, gas station, fuel station, whatever you want to call it, and charge up your car, right? You shouldn't need this crazy adapter system. But I agree with you. There should not be a standard. It should be an open market. If someone comes up with a better charging port, they should be allowed to use a better charging port on their car.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should be. Now, will this start to force the government to get their hands in there? I suspect it probably will.
I think it will. I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I think all of a sudden the government's going to go, they're meddling.
Yes.
I don't want to meddle.
If you are a Tesla owner right now, you're like, crap. All my superchargers are going to get filled up with F150 Lightnings and Mach-E's and whatever, right? If you're a Ford owner, you're like, well, heck yeah. I just got the best charging network on the planet to support my car, like for free, overnight. Fantastic. This is great.
Yeah, because now, especially with the Mach-E, because the Mach-E never had, or even the F-150 Lightning, they never had brilliant range. So now if you can get to one of those Tesla superchargers quicker and easier and more accessible and charge faster,
yep,
it's a win for Ford.
I think the frequency of chargers, or how many there are out there, and then the rate of charge is way better, to my knowledge.
And I think this will just spur Tesla on to build more superchargers.
It certainly will. They already have a lot, I will say, and they're adding more quickly. Mm-hmm. But this is a great thing for Ford, and hopefully not the start of the government ruining all this.
I am with you.
I also will say this is probably not a great thing for all consumers unless other manufacturers get in here and figure out like, okay, this is the better tech. We should probably use this. Because I could see Rivian or someone else saying, no, we're not doing that. We're full EV. Rivian, for example, won't even take, they won't use Android, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Of course they won't.
No, they all want to make their own unique software and their own unique pain in the butt to get it all working. Well, we'll see how this
You know
ends up
what?
playing
If
out.
they want to do it that way, fine. They'll just die.
Yeah.
Because they won't be able to get their product to market that is successful, and then the early adopters will buy the product and go, oh, well, this is just utter shit.
I know people who have had a Rivian and let go of it due to it not having Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or something like that.
Boom. Exactly that right there.
Right. So the free market will do its thing.
Yeah.
This is a fascinating thing. We need to keep up on this because let's see if Toyota, Hyundai, Volkswagen, if all other brands start moving over, then we'll know that it's definitely the best tech, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Just let the best version win.
Right.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Do you have any news, my friend?
I do. Normally, I don't care about EV stuff, but that is a little interesting there. We are going to talk about something that's very much not an EV, but will eventually be an EV. The Camaro.
Okay.
We know it is being axed for an electric sedan thing, right?
Right.
So Chevy has decided to do a last call. They've gone with a final edition called the Collector's Edition.
Okay.
Let me give you some information here first,
Yep.
and then we'll discuss. So it's essentially some fancy paint, and you get some extra doohickeys on your Camaro. It's all dark. It's black. It's dark. It's all darked out. They call it Panther Black Metallic Paint. You get black stripes, 20-inch black wheels. You get the front splitter from the 1LE performance package. You also get the ZL1 rear spoiler, or rear wing, I should say. Apparently, this whole Panther Black Metallic Paint, that is apparently highlighting the Camaro's original code name. Did you know the Camaro way back when was originally nicknamed the Panther?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. Then again, that's also much before our time. But that's why you get the Panther Black Metallic paint. You get, you get other graphics. You get badges on the door and the steering wheel. You get special floor mats. You get a welcome kit that gives you 2 Camaro posters. Yes. Now, that you get all that on all of the cars. But then when you get to the hot version, the ZL1, that's when things get a little more exciting. Because, sure, you don't get a lot of performance, but you get other notoriety in terms of things you get. Mm-hmm. So with the ZL1, you get, a specialized badge that does give you the limited production number run of it, because with the ZL1, at least, they're limiting it to 350 units. So only 350 of the ZL1 Collector's Edition. And then you also get a special a Shinola, which is a watch made in the U.S.
Okay.
That is meant to kind of match the car.
You do like your watches with your collector's cars.
I do.
Is the Camaro brand?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
No.
I could see the Porsche brand. I could see the Ferrari.
So
this is
Shinola is an American watchmaker, which is really cool. I like Shinolas. I just don't see. I don't know. It's neat, but
I'm sure they're out there, but more rare than in other manufacturers.
Yes.
Yes.
You can get this whole collector's edition trim on any of the models for the most part. And you get it on the 1LT, you get the LT1 and the 1SS, as well as the ZL1. So for your base trim, it adds about $5,000. For your LT1, it adds about $5,500. For your SS, you add about $6,000. For the ZL1, it's almost $15,000 for the collector's edition.
Oh,
yep,
that's a bit more.
It's a bit more. Yes.
It goes from $6,000 to $15,000.
It does.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't think the Shinola is worth $10,000.
No, not at all.
Some watches are.
Right.
Shinolas are very nice, but they're not like $10,000 watches.
No. All right. So this is a relatively simple send off.
It is.
It seems like it's more just doohickeys here and there, some paint.
I think it's just Chevy trying to milk out the last drop of the Camaro.
It kind of feels like it. Was there any performance?
No.
Okay.
Well, you get probably a little bit of added downforce, with the front splitter as well as the wing, but no.
What did Dodge just bring out that was their last hurrah?
The Dodge Demon 170. That got performance.
That got a lot of performance, and that got a lot of people talking.
Oh, it did. Yeah, that got 1,000+ horsepower.
Yep, that got everybody in the drag racing community losing their minds.
Yes.
This
Rightly so.
won't do that.
No.
Not even close.
This will make them go, carrying on.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about this as well. It's some badges, some paints. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, it's sad to see it go, but goodbye at this point.
If you're going to send off a big muscle drag racing car,
It needs 1,000 horsepower.
send it off.
Exactly. Do what Dodge did.
Yeah, send it off.
And I hate to say that you should do what a Mopar did, because that's not ever the thing you say, because it's Mopar, right? But, oh my God, Chevy, look at Dodge. What did they do? They did the right thing. If you're going to send off a muscle car, give it 1,000 horsepower, make it, put engravings of whiskey on it, and just make it mad.
That's what the people want. That's what that community wants.
That's what everyone wants that's sending off in a muscle car. It's a muscle car.
Mind you, I'm sure these will be bought. They won't be flocked to, not nearly like the Mopar was. But yes, are they making 350 of them?
Of the Z01s.
Of the Z01s?
Not the others.
Those will all sell. The others, I don't honestly know if that many people will buy them.
And actually, I was thinking about it. You don't really see that many new Camaros anymore anyway.
No.
You just don't.
Camaro might be one of the last cars I would advise someone to buy, to be honest.
Although, I gotta say, the Camaro 1SS 1LE is arguably one of the best handling muscle cars.
The top trims, yes.
Not even the Z01, the SS.
Right.
But I digress.
You wouldn't advise someone to buy a Camaro.
Not typically, no. Apparently, January in 2024 is when they're officially dead. They have an official death date.
January, so coming up here.
Yep.
Okay, coming up in under a year.
Yeah, like 6 months.
So, I guess the next question, the final question here. How long will it be before we get the Lightning Camaro, whatever they want to brand it as?
So if this is dead in January of 2024, February of 2024.
Do you think the 2025 will be?
I think it'll be yes, immediately.
Right, because they bring out the 2025 model line in 2024. Because confusing car things, why not? Yeah, I suspect it will be under a year.
Yes, I agree.
Sweet. All right, what do we got next?
We have a pickup truck. Yes, something up my alley. So, Ford. We're talking about the Ford brand again today, but Ford is giving you the option of putting a supercharger on your F-150.
Oh?
I am a fan.
Oh.
I am a fan. So, Ford Performance is unveiling 2 new supercharger packages for the F-150, but only the F-150s equipped with the 5-liter V8, which is rightfully the correct one to be supercharged.
Right.
Now, I am in love with this, but not for many of the same reasons why you might think, just because it's a lot of horsepower. Yes, I love that too, but when you get into it, this is something that makes a lot of sense from a financial standpoint.
Okay.
Stay with me. So for all 21 to 23 F-150 pickups with your 5-liter V8, Ford Performance will allow you to either get the FP700 Bronze Edition or Black Edition, which gives you a 3-liter Whipple supercharger that is going to bring your horsepower to 700 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque.
Ooh. Jeez.
Now, for a tad bit of reference here, the Ford Raptor R, which I was nerding out about a few months ago, right? That has a 5.2-liter supercharged V8, but that comes out of the Shelby GT500.
Right.
That develops 700 horsepower and 640 torques, which puts you about the same horsepower and 50 less torque.
That's nearly identical. That's basically the same thing.
See? Aha. You see where I'm going with this now.
Okay.
Okay. So in my opinion, I think Ford is shooting themselves in the foot. But I also think, on the other hand, people won't do the digging to understand that you could build a Raptor R for 20 grand less. So the price of the FP700 Supercharger is $12,350, not including dealer installation stuff.
So that's like base added on top of.
Call it 15 grand. Okay. Just round numbers. Call it 15 grand. So a Ford Raptor R, the hottest Raptor that you can buy, MSRP $109,000. I went onto Ford's website and I spec'd out a Ford F-150. A Ford F-150 Lariat. So not the base model. A Lariat has very nice trim inside. I spec'd it out with 4-wheel drive. I spec'd it out with that 5-liter V8. And that came out to about $65,000.
Ooh.
You see where I'm going.
That's 40 grand difference.
You see where I'm going.
Yep.
If you add 15 grand on top of 65 grand, that's 80 grand.
Ooh.
I guarantee you, if you took this to any proper aftermarket suspension shop and you spent even 10 grand in suspension mods, you would have a Raptor R killer for, if your Raptor R is 110 grand, which you're not buying it because you can't find it at MSRP anywhere. So realistically, you're not buying a Raptor R for anything less than 120. And you get this for 90 grand? Hello?
And I'm sure you could throw a tune-up on it after a couple months of it being in the wild.
And now you're 800 horsepower and you're 650 pound-feet of torque.
Right.
I mean, come on. Why would you not?
I do like this. I do like this a lot. Are they shooting themselves in the foot? Like, what differentiates them right now? Sure, suspension.
The fact that it's a Raptor.
Right.
Because it looks Raptor's much wider. It's way beefier. It's just way more forged stuff, right?
I agree.
But you could essentially build yourself a Raptor R and save 20, 30 grand.
And I would argue most people probably don't need the off-road aspect of the Raptor anyway. So this would be...
You're right. They want the exclusivity of it.
Right. And this would give you the same performance and more roadworthy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
he's right.
Interesting.
Ooh, he's right.
I like this.
So I feel like Ford buyers, I don't think they're going to do enough digging to know that this is a possibility. So I think they're going to go into a showroom and say, I want the biggest, baddest F-150 you can sell me. And let's say, have you met the Raptor R?
Right, because that's where the margin is.
$30,000 additional dealer markup. And they say, all right, brother, stroke a check for 150 grand. Meanwhile, someone that did the research, you and I, walk into a Ford dealer, we'd pick out a lowly F-150 Lariat and say, excuse me, that Supercharger thing you got? Yeah, I'll take one of those too, please. Thanks. And then you get that, and now you've got a supercharged 5-liter V8 pumping out the same amount of horsepower and just a little bit less torque. Hello?
For like 35 grand less.
Hello? And then you put 10 grand worth of suspension, and now you could literally destroy a Raptor R.
And still buy a BRZ.
And still buy a BRZ for the weekends.
Dang. Wow.
I love this thing.
That's cool. That is really cool. I agree. The category of Ford buyers is an interesting idea in my head. I think it's like the big work truck guys, right?
Yeah.
They exist. The influencers that just want the Raptor R.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, which is like your normal, average, everyday guy.
Your
that
weekend
wants
warrior.
a truck.
Yeah.
Right. That would actually use it for a couple truck things here and there. Probably not a lot, but that's fine.
For 1 or 2 truck things a month, because they go to a 9 to 5 every day, and then one weekend a month, they take the boat to the lake.
Yes. And that is the proper buyer for this.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the buyer that's going to go take this through, I don't know, Arizona and go mob the desert.
No, that's the Raptor.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a Raptor. But for that person who does have the 9 to 5 that wants a truck because they're an American and they like trucks, yeah, this is great. Will they know about this? No.
That's the problem.
No. No, they won't.
Please listen to this show so you know about this, because this is the way to do it.
Yep.
This is the way.
I will say Ford has heavily been pushing, trying to go direct to consumer, which is a fascinating idea. And I won't go into the whole franchising model and all that jargon right now. But if they do, I wonder if there's a market out there for guys like us to like not be the middleman, but be like, hey, this is a good option. You need to get educated on this, because if you're going to buy your truck direct from Ford and you can do it online, here's a better option for you.
And you really want a Raptor R, but you don't want to spend 120 grand?
Right.
How about this for 80?
Interesting. Real interesting.
It's the Ford, what is it? The Ford Performance FP700.
Quite the name.
It is quite the name.
I've seen worse, though.
Like the McLaren MP4-12C.
The McLaren printer, yes.
There's that one.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the last bit of news I got for you. You got anything else?
I do not.
Then that's going to wrap us up for episode 224. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up on the video, and drop a comment. Let us know, what do you think about the whole Tesla-Ford partnership thing? Good thing, bad thing? Should we go standardized? Should we not? Let us know in the comments here. And if you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _ YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.